2046. The machines rose. Chicago fell. What was once a city of millions now belongs to the AI overlords and their tireless eyes. The last free humans were driven beneath the streets, into the forgotten tunnels of the old L system. Down here in the dark, they built their own world. Self-watering real bucket hydro systems, precision grow dots, recharge nutrients, their food, their freedom, their defiance. Every harvest is a victory, every plant a middle finger to the machines above. They may control the surface, but they will never control what grows below. The resistance doesn't need weapons. It needs roots, recharge, grow dots, real bucket hydro systems. The technology that kept humanity alive in 2046 is available to you today. Go to realgrowers.com/Cortez now. Grow your future before the lights go out.
Go to the link in the description to save big and score free shipping on all Real Growers products, or use coupon code Cortez at checkout. Every time you save, you're also helping the channel bring you content like this.
Tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my
It's Crossfinger, baby.
I can't see you though. Tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window. I can't see you though. Even if I could, it would all be great. But your picture on my phone, it reminds me that it's not so bad, not so bad. Drink too much last night, got bills to pay. I had this feel good. Missed the bus and happy birthday. I'm late for work again. Even if I live there all the time, that I might not like it. You call me, it's not so bad, it's not so bad. Tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. Morning rain clouds up my window. I can't see it all. Even if I could, it would all be great. But your picture on my wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad, it's not so bad. Drank too much last night, got bills to pay. I had this feel good. Missed the bus and happy birthday. Late for work again. Even if I live there all the time, that I might not like it. You call me, it's not so bad, it's not so bad. Tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. Morning rain clouds up my window. I can't see it all. Even if I could, it would all.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cortez the Konqueror, and I want to welcome you guys to an all-new season of From Clone to Harvest. Now, as always, huge shout out to Real Growers. If you guys were interested in getting anything that I grow with, any of the grow dots or recharge, feel free to go to my website, www.realgrowers.com/Cortez, where you guys can score exclusive discounts and get free shipping on orders over $50. Now, another huge shout out that I want to give for this season is to AC Infinity. They sent me out the new 2x4 system, and it's powered by the controller AI, which I'm gonna bring you guys every step of the way, how I set it up and how everything works. So again, big shout out to AC Infinity. Thank you for sending this system out. I'm gonna battle test it and give it the old college try here. All right, so I already put out like a little unboxing video on Instagram. Maybe you guys saw that. But rather than just kind of get into like a boring like setup kind of video, we're actually gonna start off with the genetics. So through the power of editing magic, let's see what genetics I'm gonna be running in the system. So one of the first things that we're gonna wanna do to get this little clone to harvest season started is to obtain some genetics. So right now we are gonna head over to the homies to see what we can grab.
Call you back, my plug calling.
It's absolutely freezing here today in Chicago. It's like the middle of December. It's about 9 degrees outside. I think I cooked up something kind of nifty though to transport these clones. So I've never used this feature on my truck before, but I do have a power source in here. Now what I did is I went ahead and got a thermal insulated bag. I ran an AC Infinity heat mat in here, and let's see if we got power. Oh yeah. All right, we got the clones. I went ahead and went with the purple Do-Si-Do. These are looking pretty good. Now let's give these a little bit of heat while we're transporting. Now we've got a temporary home for these clones. For now, they'll be A-okay in this 2x2x4. But let's go ahead, get these out of the cups and get them into some soil.
3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, now that we got the clones in the dirt, gonna hit them with some of the good stuff. This is gonna be their first recharge feeding, and this will work out pretty good for promoting some root growth in between while I got these solo cups going. Let's see how many days these take to fill out. Now that I got my recharge in here, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a really good mix. And from here, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just water them in, try to soak everything pretty thoroughly. So, just from doing this in the past, pretty good at measuring. To fully saturate one of these solo cups, each one of these is gonna get 3 pulls off of the turkey baster. 2. And now we'll go in for the third one. And if you guys notice, I've been trying to really evenly saturate my soil here as to not leave any dry spots and get these watered in really nice. Now that I've got these watered in really nicely, the best thing that I can really do is just kind of leave them alone. Now this here is actually like the pantry area of my house, so I don't get the best humidity, but you'd be surprised with just a spray bottle how much humidity I can generate in here, sealed with the light. But like I said, for now, best thing to do is just leave these alone for at least about 2-3 days before they'll even have to be watered. Right before we jump into getting our equipment set up, I wanted to give you guys a 5-day check-in on the genetics. Running them in the 2x2x4. I've done 2 rounds of IPM so far with the Lost Coast Plant Therapy Solution. Now, if you guys don't mind, I kind of want to throw a shameless plug in here. Now, these started off in the Rapid Rooters only 4 or 5 days ago now, and I just want to show off my roots a bit. This is the recharge really starting to do its magic. Some of these leaves are a little bit brown, but you can kind of expect that coming off of clones. But this new growth is looking really good. So that's mainly what we're looking at. These leaves were on here at the time the clone was taken, and these signs of deficiency are actually a good sign because that's showing me that the roots are developing. These will get plucked off after a while. Actually, honestly, this one, we can just kind of snag it off right now. But the main focus is going to be on this new growth. Get these in the 1 gallons and top soon. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and get into a little bit of equipment setup. I have gone ahead and cleared out a nice space behind me, so let's start getting everything put together to see how easy it is. So step 1 of this is definitely gonna be getting the tent put together. Let's go ahead and get our 2x4 structure put into place. And AC Infinity, Bella says thank you for the new box. Now, like I said, the first thing we're going to want to do is get the structure put together. We're just putting together the frame and putting the tent over it. So I'm going to need all the poles, the tent, and then I'm going to need all the legs. There's also some straps, a mounting plate for the controller unit, and some roof poles. We're just going to put these to the side because we don't need them for right now. Let's get the structure put together. But I will speed this up a little bit and put in a montage. Isn't she pretty, guys? This is definitely bigger than what I thought 2x4 was. I got the 2x2, but it's a 2x2x4. So this looks considerably bigger. But let's go ahead and get the skin on here. Here we are. Went ahead and got the structure in place. Now, the next step from here is going to be to get the ventilation system put together. We got the tent all set up now. Next step is gonna be to get some lights in here. I just connected this light to power. Let's see what we got going on. Now that we got the tent set up, we got the light, we got the ventilation out of the way, next step is to install the clip fan now that we got power. Here she is, guys. What do you think? Everything came together pretty nice. And this probably only took me maybe about 45 minutes. All right. So one thing we're not going to get into this episode is the setting up of the controller AI. But I am going to fully cover that on episode 2. So make sure you stay tuned. For right now, the light has a controller on it. The fan has a controller on it. I'm pulling in cold air from outside, and it's December in Chicago right now. So I don't have to worry about my environmentals too much. So I'm just going to have this stuff kind of going off of like the dumb controllers rather than the smart controller. But it's been maybe 6 or 7 days now since we went ahead and got those clones. So I want to go ahead and get plants in here, and we need to start thinking about up potting because those roots are shooting. So I don't want to slow the clones down at all. Let's go ahead and grab those so we can get them out of the solo cup and start thinking about getting them in the 1 gallon. Well, guys, what can I say? Everything came together really nicely, and we finally got these clones out of the pantry. Today is officially day 7 on these bad boys, and the roots are stacking up in these really nice. Now that I've brought these in here from the pantry, the quarantine is over. And now these are actually in the room where I got some other things going on. So we're gonna go ahead and hit this with a nice IPM with the Lost Coast. Even though this is a new tent, just wanna make sure there's no mildew, no mold, or any type of pathogens. So let's get this thing blessed the right way, Lost Coast style. We are running a little bit short on time for episode 1, but if you guys got anything out of this, if you enjoyed the content, do me a favor, share it with a friend, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below for the algorithm. And do not miss out on episode 2, where we're going to go ahead and get these into the 1 gallons as well as get the controller AI set up. Now, I want to welcome everybody to episode 2 of this season's Clone to Harvest. In episode 1, we got blessed with this all new AC Infinity setup, as well as we got our genetics secured to run. Since we last checked in, we are on day 10 of being in the solo cups. These are drooping a little bit, but that is actually from being underwatered, which for me is a little bit more ideal to transplant. Now, the roots have really taken off on these, so these are at the point to where I'm having to water daily. Let's go ahead and see where the recharge helped us out and see where the roots are at on day 10. Okay guys, let's not waste any time here. Let's go ahead and get these solo cups up potted to 1 gallons. Now let's take a look at the substrate that we're going into. If you guys know me all too well, you know that I actually have my own soil mix that is a pretty nice mix of worm castings, compost. I like the Fox Farm stuff, so I mix in Happy Frog as well as Ocean Forest. If you guys wanted to get a full walkthrough on building the soil that I use, you can actually go down in the description, and I'm gonna have that pinned at the top for you guys if you want to go ahead and make a batch of this for yourself. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a cup full of my mixture. Then we're gonna go ahead and dump in a cup full of compost. Now let's go ahead and throw in a bit more of the mixture. And we're gonna go ahead and mix in some worm castings just for good measure. Now go ahead and give this a good mix. This is really gonna have some good soil biology. This is gonna make everything really come alive. Now that we have everything mixed up really well, I'm gonna go ahead and start to make a bit of an indent and give this solo cup a home to go into. Now, I'm sure this is the moment that everybody's been waiting for. It's time for the big reveal. You guys ready for a little bit of root porn? Ooh, gotta be careful here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the recharge did for us in only a 10-day time span. All right, now that we've got everything squared away, clean these up a little bit, get some of these unwanted leaves off of here, and we'll go ahead and repeat this process 2 more times. Now that we've got everything up potted, it's time to do a little bit of rearranging in here. We're gonna be going for a truly automated setup in here. So in addition to the controller AI, we are going with the AC Infinity self-watering bases. Final containers in here are gonna be 5 gallons. In the meantime, we are gonna continue to build up the root zone in these 1 gallons. Let's go ahead and get these watered in for now. So to get these watered in here, I am gonna use a bit of a solution. Going in first with a couple drops of the silicium silica. Go ahead and get that mixed up. Then we're gonna go in with about 20 milliliters of the Clonex solution. Give these a little bit of food. It'll be a quick shot. Even though I do have my organics in there, we're gonna go ahead and give this a quick hit from some bottled nutrients to let these catch up a little bit. Last but not least, we are gonna go ahead and mix in a bit of recharge to go ahead and get this new soil inoculated. These clones are gonna be much happier now that they're out of the solo cups. So the last step we really have here is to go ahead and get these watered in. So it's been about 48 hours here since transplant, and these clones are responding really nicely to the transplanting as well as the light nutrient and mycorrhiza feeding that I gave these. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna top these while they're in the 1 gallon. I wanted to wait a couple days past when I put them in the 1 gallons from the solos because I didn't really want to introduce 2 plant stresses at once. So now that we got 3 days in the new container, these are taking off and looking lush, we're gonna get in here and do a little bit of work. Now, kind of the scheme behind my madness here. If you see this clone in the middle is kind of like the twin towers, but once I have the Scrog in place, this is going to make a lot more sense. But for this one, this is going to get stretched out this way. This will get stretched something like this. And this one will go this way. The real goal here is to max out this full 2x4 space and get a really full canopy. So I'm going to do 4 tops right now. Pretty much 1 from each one of these main shoots. So, allow me to get in here as I do my first topping. Then just go ahead and repeat that process. 2. 3. And 4. Now, this will be about the only topping that I do on these. I will clean the bottoms up on these a little bit more once these start to bush out. But as far as the topping, I do it in the 1 gallon container. And in a couple weeks here, these are going to go ahead and get repotted into the 5 gallon containers, which will be their final home. So it's been exactly 2 weeks here that we've had these clones in the 1 gallons. It's been 14 days since our last transplant. Now these have gotten to the point to where they're drinking about 18 ounces of water every 24 to 36 hours. And if I look at the bottoms here, I can actually see little pieces of root poking out. So now that I've let the root zone build up a bit in these, I know that these are ready to go to their final home. I want to take a minute to give a shout out to one of the show's sponsors, Real Growers. And today, the Grow Dots are definitely going to be the star of the show. They are a one-time nutrient that lasts you your full grow cycle that's time released. Now, this is actually a pretty common question that I get. Cortez, when do you mix in the Grow Dots? Now, me personally, I mix them in when I go into final container, which is what we're doing here today. Now, if I didn't have such a nutrient-rich substrate, then I probably would put like a tablespoon of these in when I mix in the 1 gallons. But like you guys saw, I mix in a lot of compost, I mix in the ocean forest, I mix in worm castings. So until I get into the final container, I really just try to have my plants eat the organic nutrients that are in my soil to get them built up to the point to where some of this more synthetic stuff will take a little bit better hold, have a little bit better action, if that makes sense. We run Synganics over here. It's the best of both worlds and the most optimal thing that, in my opinion, I can do for my plants. Now, if you guys wanted to try any of this out for yourself, or you just want to support the channel, you guys can go over to www.realgrowers.com/Cortez, where you can take advantage of some pretty nice discounts on recharge, grow dots or even the real bucket systems, or if you guys wanted to get any merch. But if you guys wanted to show some support or just save yourself a couple dollars, go ahead and check it out. Let's go ahead and get our final container set up. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I do that. First thing that we're gonna add is our super soil mix. Go ahead and I'm gonna do about 2 of these to start getting my layers going. The next thing that I'm gonna wanna go ahead and throw in here is a full Pyrex of my compost. Next thing up is some fresh ocean forest. Moving on to the worm castings, I have an 18-ounce solo cup full of these. Okay, now like I said, we really are only focused on the bottom third of this pot right now. This is gonna be a hot layer. So this is gonna be really nutrient rich. We're gonna go ahead and give this a mix. Now, with the way the clones are right now, if the soil was this hot, we would probably burn them with this mixture and get them angry. But the beauty of this is that we're gonna go ahead and mix this up, pat it down a little bit, and then we're gonna build up with just the base super soil mix. So that way, as the plant grows and needs more nutrients and the roots are coming down, the roots are going to dip into this like basement layer of goodies. Okay, now that I got everything mixed in really good in this bottom third layer, I went ahead and patted this down. This layer, I actually want to be packed pretty tight. That way it's not leaving any air gaps so that my container won't go wonky after watering and then everything kind of settles like any way it wants to. So it all starts with the foundation, people. Now that I've got my bottom layer where I want it, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue to build up this pot with my super soil mix. Now that I've got my pot built up to about the point to where it can accept the 1 gallon transplant, I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle in some more worm castings, as well as this is where the other 2 tablespoons of the grow dots come in. And now, the moment I know you guys have been waiting for. It's time for the 14-day root reveal from the 1 gallon containers. Let's see where we're at. Guys, allow me to do a little bit of self-promotion here. I don't want to come off as a shill, but do you guys see these roots after only 14 days? Now this, I definitely have to attribute to the recharge. Now that this one's about ready to be watered in, let's go ahead and put this off to the side. At this point, we're just repeating the process, but let's go ahead and do another root reveal after the 14 days. Science is repeatable. Look at these consistent results. Now we're gonna go ahead and start to water these in, and we're gonna water them in slowly. I went ahead and made up 3 gallons of the solution from earlier. It's got the silica, the recharge, and the Clonex solution. Now this is actually a pretty vital step because from watering in here, this is gonna kind of determine where our soil levels end up. And if I don't have the patience to do this right now, I'm gonna be fighting stuff falling off over the sides every time I top water these. Now these are gonna be bottom fed, but nonetheless, I am still gonna be going in once a week with the recharge solution to build up the microbes in my soil.
make it look so easy.
Hey, Walker on the top, running through the guap.
Smashing on the E-way in the Hellcat, I might spin a bin. I was taught to chase the money, I can never chase the bitch. She gon' fuck with me because she know that I'm on different shit. I came from the bottom, swear to God I can't go back to it. Smashing on the E-way, smashing on the E-way, smashing on the E-way, smashing on the E-way.
Now, like I said, we are going to be bottom feeding, and for an added layer of IPM, I'm going to do a cover crop with these. Only my cover crop is going to be stone. Not only will this eliminate the only thing that I'm really worried about, fungus gnats, by keeping the top 2 inches really dry, this is also going to make my grow photograph really nicely. My pots are set up for my entire run. I've got my organics in here, I've got my grow dots, all the good stuff. Now the beautiful part is this is a truly synganic nutrient system. So between the organics and the synthetics that I added in here, I do not have to mix nutrients for the rest of my grow. Now, I will still be doing the weekly recharge feedings, which is going to be my top feeding. Probably still sneak a little bit of silica in there as well. But with the stuff that I've gone ahead and took the time to mix up now, I don't have to do this every couple days, every few days, not even once a week. This is pretty much the set it and forget it system. But now that I have my pots all ready to go, let's go ahead and get these on the self-watering bases. We have our AC Infinity self-watering bases in place. I went ahead and set my wick lines, and I also went ahead and threw a gallon of water in each one of these reservoirs to go ahead and start to get all of this primed. If you guys can see, all of my water level indicators are at the maximum. No more fucking around at this point. Let's go ahead and get the ladies in here. We're looking pretty good here, guys. We've got everything in its final home, all set and ready to go. Now, the one thing, we do still have everything controlled by these dumb controllers. But now that we got everything in place, the next steps are going to be to get the controller AI set up. I went ahead and got the 2x4 high CFM frame, so we are going to have the Scrog with the frame. I also have the supplemental lighting, so this is actually going to be my first grow ever using the under canopy lighting. The light that AC Infinity was nice enough to send out is a 200 watt light. With the under canopy lighting, pedal to the floor, we're going to be pulling 245 watts out of the wall in the 2x4 space. The other addition that I'm going to add in here, I'm going to add the green lights off work light, just because it's something that I got and I really want to see what the controller AI is able to control between everything in my grow to make everything fully automated, even the watering. As far as episode 2, we are wrapping up a bit here, guys, but please follow me, stay tuned and subscribe so that when episode number 3 comes out, you guys will all be in tune. If you hit the notification bell, you won't miss a single update that I have as far as new content. Do me a favor, leave a comment, hit the like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss anything that I have coming up. And what's going on, everybody? It's Cortez the Conqueror, and we are in store for episode number 3 of Clone to Harvest. Now, in episode 1, we covered obtaining our genetics. In episode number 2, we went all the way from rapid rooter all the way to final container. Now here in episode 3 of the Clone to Harvest, we are going to get into some more advanced setup with the AC Infinity equipment. And the first step in that is going to be to get our high CFM frame in place. That way we can get our Scrog net hooked in and we can get our inner canopy lighting. Let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do here is get a rough feel for where the top of my canopy is. Now, to make that a little bit easier, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and use a little piece of Scotch tape just so I kind of have a rough marker. I've got the high CFM frame here. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the plants out. That way I'm not knocking any of them over or breaking anything. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get the frame set up so that we can start to get the net in. Now that I've got the plants out of here, I don't have to worry about damaging anything or fucking anything up. And since I used this piece of Scotch tape here, I have a rough mark of where the top of my canopy is. Now, let's go ahead and get the frame in here. I have the frame roughly in place now, but I've still left it a bit loose. That way we can still make any type of slight adjustment that we need. Now that we've got this in place, let's go ahead and put the plants back in here. Now that we've got the plants back in here, as well as the frame assembled, let's go ahead and get the net zip tied in here. So, now that we've got the net in place and hovering a few inches above canopy, the next step here is going to be to get our under canopy lighting installed. All right, guys, I went ahead and got all my lights installed. And rather than go straight up, it kind of makes a little bit more sense to me to go more at like a 45 with these. But before we drop this net on top of the canopy, let's just go ahead and make sure that the lights have power. That way I don't have to mess around with any type of wiring after we get this in place. And we have power. Oh, wow. It's at 9. Crank it all the way up to 10. It's pulling out 45 watts. And then we have the 200 watt light up top. So just to get a feel, this is going to be full power. This is pulling out 245 watts from the wall. Now that we've got everything in place, I can go ahead and start to make my adjustment. It is time to drop this net.
Separate me from my past. Pay cash, I have a tab. I give them whatever they need whenever they ask me. Know I got it. Baby kid, cause I thought $1 million was hidden inside the attic. You know my daddy went to prison. He think he slick, he tried to add it. All my life I had to fight, I'm sipping color purple. I'm the type to bring up money, ain't gonna bring up murders. Excuse to hit my brother cup, I try to say I'm thirsty. Talk to myself at night time to see you really worth it. Have my brother drive the robbery, you want 7.
We've got a rough layout for the Scrog now. I know this looks a little bit ugly, but trust me, the plants are gonna grow into this and love it. And this is gonna be something that's gonna evolve every day. Gonna have to go back in as stuff pops up, kind of like retuck it. This is gonna be something that I'm gonna have to go ahead and work. But with this little bit of work, it's going to have a huge payoff in the end. And now for the part that a lot of people have been asking me about. I'm going to go ahead and set up the AI to take over my grow. Oh my God. I've actually been kind of nervous. If you guys know me, you know that I don't really like gadgets, and it's actually giving me a little bit of stress right now to turn over the control of my grow. But let's go ahead and get this started. So the first thing we're gonna do here is turn on my screen recorder so you guys can see what I'm doing. And okay, we're screen recording. All right, and now I am opening the AC Infinity app. If you guys can see, I've just kind of gone ahead and put some basic controls just to get this going for the time being until I had the time to record this with all of you so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And full disclosure, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, so you guys are kind of seeing this in real time as I figure it out. Okay, now that I clicked the AI, let's go to the indoor growing quick start. It's given an option here. Are we doing auto flower or photo period? This is a clone grow, so we're gonna go ahead and go with the photo period option. And then we're gonna go ahead and click next. Now these are in the flowering phase. It's giving me the three options, either seedling, vegetative, or flowering. So after I got the flowering here, I'm gonna go ahead and click next. All right, I think this is just asking me basically to confirm all my devices. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and hit next. All right, and this is telling me your AI has configured settings for the devices below. You can make changes to these settings later on. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and click next again. Photo period AI for an 8-week flower cycle. And I think this is just kind of more of a warning page, so we're gonna go ahead and click start. So nervous. All right. It's just kind of running through a few things here, gathering data. Let's see what this thing spits out. All right, so it looks like this thing's just kind of done like a 24-hour overview just to kind of look at what it can optimize in my settings. But that looks like we are hooked up to the matrix now. Now we are fully plugged into the matrix. It's going to be really interesting because this is going to be a little bit different for me. This grow is going to be really hands-off between the AI controller and the self-watering bases. So I'm kind of interested. This is more or less kind of like my little experiment to see what type of quality we can get. I'm sure, you know what I mean, anything from AC Infinity is good. So I doubt it's gonna suck, but at the same time, I guess we'll see if this in the end is better or the same quality as what I could produce on my own. I'm not sure if you guys can tell I'm a little bit nervous. What's going on, y'all? It's Cortez the Conqueror. You already know, Cannabis grower by day, pimp by night, and we are about to kick off episode 4. If you guys have missed anything up to this point, just rewind a little bit. Everything has been posted already to see what it has taken to get me to this point of flower. Also, it is now official. I will be at the DGC Cup, so I will see you guys the 5th, 6th, and 7th of June. By the way, nobody tell the wife. I haven't told her yet, so the official story will be that I'm going out for a pack of smokes. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. All right, y'all. This content is intended for individuals 18 years of age and older. If you're not old enough, you probably shouldn't be watching this video. So it's been a little while since we did the check-in. Today is day 62 of flower in the tent, and let's see what's going on. Now, as you guys can see, I definitely should have probably gone with a second layer of trellis netting. But I have started a new job and haven't had as much time to do gardening. So this is actually neglect tech at its finest. Now, with not as much time to be able to dedicate to the garden, I really couldn't ask for a better setup than the AC Infinity 2x4 with the self-watering bases. Now, don't judge me. My ground is a little skunked out at the moment, but we're getting closer to harvest. So right now we won't worry about the little bit of water. But with the recharge, let's take a look in and see where my roots are at. As you guys can see, everything is thriving. Now, since the last time we checked in, one of the major updates, my light was a little too close with the ratchet rope setup, and because of that, if you notice, some of my buds have become a little bleached. But by the time I caught it, we eliminated the rope hangers, and I actually went with these guys that typically come with the Scrog net setups. That way I was able to eliminate some of this and gave myself probably another good 3-4 inches of clearance. Now with this setup, I've had people ask me about the grow dots. The proof is definitely in the pudding on this one of people asking, are the grow dots enough nutrient to get you all the way from seed, or in this case, from clone to harvest with only the grow dots, and this is with some supplemented silica. All of these limbs really cannot even hold themselves up. This is going to be quite the bountiful harvest. Like I said, I really should have gone in and put in a second layer of trellis netting just to hold everything up a little bit better. But in this case, probably got, I don't know, maybe another week. I mean, I might push this as far as like day 75 or day 76, but I'm gonna let the plant decide. I have enough nug in stock right now to where I'm not really hurting for weed, so I really wouldn't mind pushing this to get the maximum potency as well as to maximize on my yield a little bit here to get the best harvest possible. Another update here for you guys that like me to cover my SOP. We are maybe about 48 to 72 hours after introducing the first application of winter frost to the purple doses grow. And you guys can tell the winter frost is doing its thing. It's definitely pulling out the fall colors. Definitely pulled out a little bit more of the stank. The smells in here are out of this world. Now, this is one of the reasons that I am saying I might go 5 or 6 days. After day 70 in here, I really am waiting to be able to catch a fade on some of these leaves and just make sure that I capitalize on all of the plant senescence to really bring these girls on home. It's official, by the way, guys. I've got my tickets and I've got my rental car and plane tickets figured out for the upcoming DGC Cup. Now, I really hope that if you guys are able to make it, that we can meet in person, be able to burn one with you guys. You may even be able to sample some of this purple doses here, as I may have it as an offering. The DGC Cup this year is going to be June 5th, 6th, and 7th. If you guys haven't already, I would go ahead and get a ticket because they are starting to sell out rather fast. But if you guys are able, definitely find me while you're out there and come say hi. The 5th Friday, as usual, is going to be reserved for the VIP party. Saturday is going to be the actual flower cup. And Sunday, we are going to have a really good time at the Hash Bash, 2nd year running. This is going to be the 2nd year that it's hosted at Vermilion Hills in Longmont, Colorado. And I hope to see all of you guys out there. I know I'll see at least a few of you. If you guys have already gotten your tickets for the DGC Cup, go ahead and drop it in the comments so I know to expect you. And as always, if you guys were looking to snag a deal on any Real Growers products, if you guys were interested even in a real bucket system, I can save you a little bit of coin. Maybe you guys have thought about using the grow dots, but you're not sure if it's something you would like. I can tell you guys right now, just jump on my website, www.realgrowers.com/Cortez. You can actually try out a sample size and see if you guys can get some results like these. If you guys are busy, if you guys got jobs, life, wife, kids, pets, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever have you, maybe you're going on some form of trip or vacation with the summer coming up, I would really advise at least giving the grow dots a try. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. And if you are going on some type of trip, I would really advise getting some type of self-watering setup, get the grow dots in there, and it's pretty much set it and forget it. I mean, maybe I'm a little biased, but I have been using the grow dots in a recharge system for going on about 3-4 years here, and I still haven't turned back. So that should definitely tell you something. But again, if you guys are interested, go over to the website, just check out what I got going on. It's www.realgrowers.com/Cortez. I think we're gonna keep this one somewhat short and sweet. We're gonna keep this episode more really to a garden update. But go ahead and stay tuned. I am gonna do a harvest video to show you guys when I take all of this down And in the harvest video, I will get into my final numbers and what my final dried weight is manicured. I am really excited to crunch some of the numbers, and we'll be able to get into some of the analytics, and we'll really be able to see what the AC Infinity 2x4 with the AC Infinity Controller AI Plus. I am really excited to get in and nerd it out and get the numbers in for you guys. But until next time, peace. My fingers are quite sticky. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cortez the Konqueror, and we are getting ready to harvest. I'm gonna give a really quick disclaimer. This video is for people age 18 and over. Also, the audio quality is gonna be shit on this, but I started running my air conditioning unit. I've already got my room down to 67 since lights off, and the lowest that my air conditioner in this room goes is 64. So giving you guys a quick check-in, but as far as this background noise, you're gonna have to deal with it. So this is what I will be competing with June 6th, boys. This is day 66 here. So I am just a day short of a full 11 weeks. Now we are in here with the single Scrog net. Now I don't want to pull the Scrog over these buds and rip off all my trichomes. So what we're gonna do, first step here, we're gonna remove this light. Then if you guys notice this bar that's running down the middle, we're gonna use that to hang on. So I'm going to come in here with the scissors and I'm gonna cut this limb by limb. And then these are going to go on binder clips from wire hangers. So step one, let's go ahead and get this light out of here. I'm also calling it a wrap on my mini bucket grow. I don't even know what day this is, but ollie ollie oxen free. I've cut all power in here besides what I need to keep air circulating and my air conditioner. Luckily in this room I have two different circuits, but I have noticed the trend with my power that if I dip below 68 degrees, I will blow this fucking circuit, and then I gotta call my property management people to reset it. So this tent is going to the living room circuit. So the only thing that's running on this circuit is gonna be my air conditioner. I got it down to 68 already. After I harvest here, I'm going to try and drop it down to the 64, and hopefully I don't blow the fucking panel. All right, we got the light out. That went pretty smooth, but now we got to remove this green lights off night light, and I got fucking wires going now. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate the rest of this. All right, so I've gone ahead and chosen the path of least resistance here. Anything that was in my way, I just went ahead and eliminated. So if it was in my way, I got it out of my way. Time to glove up, because this is the part where we start killing shit. Gotta put away the sissy scissors and we pulling out the choppers. This is the first cut here. Just wanted to show you guys how we're looking. Oh yeah. I'm not sure how well you guys know me, but I really don't do good or well with delicate or fragile things. But I am trying to be as gentle as possible to get this out of here. I've got everything harvested. This room is reeking, and we've got this area dropped down to 67 degrees with 59% humidity. I am quite sticky at the moment. I can feel this all over my forearms. I am stickier than Grambo after his last shift at the glory hole. And the next step here is going to be to get these pots, the self-watering bases, and this filthy liner out of here. So I'll be back with you guys in just a second. Well, all right, folks, we are all set for now. Got those pots out, got the dirty floor out, over here shining again. But for now, all I really got to do is pretty much monitor. Shooting for at least like a 10 to 14 day dry. I'm gonna drop the temps as low as I can in this room. We also got the humidifier going. Got this circulating fan. I just got that set onto 1. I am pulling air out of here. I think that's set at about 8 right now. Probably gonna drop that down to about 5 or 6, but I gotta go in the app to do the manual override on that one. But for now, we are all set to start dry and then eventually move on to cure here. I even have my mini bucket grow of the Gorilla Skittles by Fast Buds. But as you guys know, this is the purple doses, and if you guys are coming out to the DGC Cup this year, this is going to be one of the entries, so look for me. Come say what's up, and I look forward to burning one with y'all. But until next time, guys, peace.